But Jasmine ain't having it. She grabs the mic and says, "Since I'm apparently only allowed to speak in fragments, I'll make this moment count." Then she pulls out this slim stack of papers from her folder stuff she'd hinted at earlier in the week, but never showed. Rumors had been swirling, but most folks thought it was just political games. Nah, not this time. She looks out at the crowd, steady as hell, and drops the bomb. Let the record reflect, she starts, voice like a surgeon's scalpel, that these documents certified and time-stamped by the Southern District of Florida show that First Lady Melania Trump amended her prenup agreement less than 4 months before President Trump launched his current campaign. Boom. The room explodes. Gasps everywhere. One Republican mutters under his breath, "You've got to be kidding me." Others just sit there, mouths open, trying to process what they just heard. Jasmine doesn't even blink. Listen up, y'all, because I'm diving straight into the firestorm that flipped Washington upside down. Imagine a congressional hearing in the Rayburn House office building, packed wall-to-wall, the air heavy with unspoken tension. It's billed as a dull chat about small business tax reform, but forget that noise. Representative Jasmine Crockett just dropped a bombshell that's got the entire White House reeling. One single sentence and Melania Trump's hidden prenup is out in the open. Trust me, nobody saw this gut punch coming. Listen up, y'all, because I'm diving straight into the firestorm that flipped Washington upside down. Imagine a congressional hearing in the Rayburn House office building, packed wall-to-wall, the air heavy with unspoken tension. It's billed as a dull chat about small business tax reform, but forget that noise. Representative Jasmine Crockett just dropped a bombshell that's got the entire White House reeling. One single sentence, and Melania Trump's hidden prenup is out in the open. Trust me, nobody saw this gut punch coming. Picture the scene. The room's a pressure cooker, not a seat to spare. Everyone's on edge, waiting for a spark. Up front, the panel of representatives is already clashing, but all eyes lock on Jasmine Crockett. She's cool as ice, rocking a sharp charcoal suit, hair pulled back like she's ready for war. She stays silent at first, letting the tension build until a Republican cuts her off mid-question for the third time. Her smile vanishes, eyes sharpen. She leans in, voice low but lethal. "Are you done?" The room freezes. It's the kind of quiet that screams something's about to shatter. The committee chair tries to push forward, clearing his throat like that'll smooth things over. But Jasmine ain't playing. She grips the mic and fires off. "Since I'm only allowed to speak in bits, I'll make this count." She pulls out a thin stack of papers from her folder docs she teased all week, but never revealed. Whispers had circulated, but most figured it was just political smoke. Not today. She stares down the crowd, steady as a blade, and unleashes the nuke. "Let the record show," she says, voice slicing through the silence. "These certified time-stamped documents from the Southern District of Florida prove First Lady Melania Trump altered her prenup agreement less than 4 months before President Trump kicked off his latest campaign." Boom. The room detonates. Gasps ripple through the crowd. One Republican mutters, "You've got to be out of your mind." Others sit stunned, grappling with the weight of her words. Jasmine doesn't waver. She presses on. And per 2 insider accounts, this change links straight to a contingency clause triggered by public scandal or criminal indictment. Chaos erupts. Voices overlap. Some demand her words be erased from the record. An aide sprints from the back, phone in hand, likely dialing a heavyweight. Cameras roll. This ain't just a hearing, it's live raw TV. Someone tries to interrupt again, but Jasmine raises a hand. "I won't be muted," she declares, unyielding. "Not when this administration demands women sit pretty and shut up. Not when truth gets smothered by arrogance." Outside, the internet ignites in minutes. #Melania Claus trends on X faster than wildfire. Clips of her statement flood every platform, not just political junkies, but bloggers, law students, even ex-White House staffers are chiming in. Back inside, the chair's pounding his gavel, shouting, "Order, order," but the room's lost. Jasmine gathers her papers, leans back, not smirking, not fuming, just looking like she knew the bomb she just dropped. Down the street in the West Wing, Trump's inner circle is in full meltdown. Phones explode with alerts, nonstop calls. One aide later said Trump's screen didn't dim for a solid hour. A forgettable hearing just became a political inferno. But this ain't the blast, it's the fuse. The clip storms national news like a hurricane. By midday, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, even small stations in Des Moines and Tulsa loop Jasmine's words relentlessly. Her calm tone, her piercing words, the room's stunned silence, it's on repeat. At 12:17 p.m., Trump's team calls an internal code red, "No lie," staffers confirmed it. They're racing to contain Crockett and spin the narrative, but they're already drowning. #Melania Claus hits 1 million tweets in under 3 hours. TikTokers dissect legal jargon Instagram pages, quote her like gospel memes blow up. But in the West Wing, ain't a laugh to be found. Trump's having lunch near the Oval when his chief of staff rushes in tablet in hand, face pale. "You gotta see this," he says. Trump watches and let's just say he loses it. Slams the table so hard Secret Service outside perks up. 2 aides get booted from the room instantly. Another staying anonymous said Trump's yells echo down the hall. "She's dragging Melania into this?" he roared. "She thinks she's invincible?" Phones won't stop ringing. The press office is swarmed with questions they can't dodge. Reporters ain't asking about taxes, they're grilling on why Melania's legal team quietly reworked her prenup and what that screams about her trust in Trump's future. That's the real sting. Did Melania see a storm brewing back at the Capitol? Jasmine's already slipped out of the hearing room, striding down a back hallway with 2 aides. A young staffer catches up panting. "You good?" he asks. She doesn't break stride. Never better, she snaps, fully aware of the chaos she just unleashed and the backlash on deck. Cable news pounces. Some call her reckless, others label it the rawest truth Congress has seen in ages. One conservative host glares at the camera barking, "Who the hell is slipping her this intel?" But Jasmine don't budge. Hours later, she posts a clip of the hearing on her account with 4 blunt words: "Truth don't need clearance." A direct slap at everyone trying to gag her. The comment section, pure mayhem. Cheers, rage, demands for proof. But plenty are hooked. Who is this woman and what else she got? Meanwhile, at the White House, it's unraveling fast. Melania ain't there, hasn't been spotted since a Miami Children's Hospital photo op 5 days back. Reporters stake out her private Maryland residence, hungry for any denial. But nothing. No statement, no tweet, not even a casual wave. That silence, deafening. By evening, 3 campaign sources say Trump's personally dialing donors, trying to douse the flames. One called the convos unhinged and furious. Another said he kept growling, "How the hell did she snag those papers?" That's when the hunt begins. Not just journalists, but ex-campaign folks, legal analysts, even Trump's own party they're obsessed with, who leaked and why now. As the political sphere spirals, Jasmine's back at her D.C. condo, sitting at her kitchen table with ginger tea phone flipped over. Her aide Kia leans on the counter. "You sure about staying quiet? CNN's begging for you tonight?" Jasmine glances up. "Let it simmer," she says. They're already sinking, but in politics, quiet don't hold, not when everyone's guessing who lit the fuse. That night, after press vans clear and D.C. slips into scandal fatigue, the real grind starts behind locked doors. At 9:42 p.m., in a secure White House conference room near the Lincoln bedroom, 3 aides huddle over a folder stamped "FLOTUS Confidential." They ain't on policy, they're in crisis mode, patching up a marriage. One fetched this folder from an off-site legal archive under top orders, inside timelines, court filings, logs from Melania's legal team. And yeah, it backs Jasmine's claim. The amendment's real dates match, signed in Palm Beach County 4 months pre-campaign launch. An aide skims through, jaw-locked, whispering, "This ain't random." But they don't dare say it near Trump. He's pacing nearby, snapping orders into a phone, fixated on unmasking the leak to Jasmine. He don't care about the details he's burning over the betrayal. To him, someone inside turned traitor, arming a woman he already brands an enemy. Down the hall, Melania's assistant locks herself in a guest room. She's called the First Lady twice, once about the hearing, once on the media frenzy. Both calls short. "Say nothing," Melania ordered. Next morning, her silence still dominates every cable headline. Journalists post blurry Mar-a-Lago security shots tracking her moves. Trump's rage ain't cooled. He hosts a private breakfast with loyal lawmakers, no press, no cameras, to rally the troops. A Texas senator leans in. "Mr. President, this'll only get worse. Shut it down before it spreads." Trump slams the table. "She's trying to smear my wife. That's a no-go. An ally suggests Melania speak out, deny it. She said zilch and folks are making up stories." But Trump shuts it down. He don't want her near a mic. He wants Jasmine crushed, discredited, done. A memo's drafted by lunch, a scheme to paint Jasmine as peddling baseless conspiracies in a federal hearing. Some conservative analysts on TV echo the line. But in Jasmine's office, no one's rattled. Her team's eerily steady. Kia hands her a plain manila envelope labeled "Do Not Copy." Inside, an unsigned letter from Naples, Florida, with 3 pages of emails between a Trump advisor and a Florida attorney for Melania. dated 3 days before the prenup tweak. Jasmine reads it twice. Kia watches. It's airtight. Go public. Jasmine shakes her head. Not yet. Let 'em squirm. Now Trump's crew ain't the only ones stressed. Moderate Republicans, especially those facing re-election, fret over suburban voters. This ain't just about a marriage, it's about trust deception power. It's visceral real. By day's end, Trump's inner circle sees their mistake in dodging it. They let Jasmine own the story, and once the public bites, it ain't just political, it's personal. And personal hits hard, slipping into corners politicians can't touch. The burning question spreads faster than the clip. Where'd she get those docs? Capitol Hill staffers murmur over lunch. Legal analysts toss shaky theories on morning shows. Even international media jumps in. Someone fed Jasmine legit legal papers tied to the First Lady. And Jasmine, she's mum. Her office phones blow up reporters, activists, even a San Fran doc crew pitching an exclusive. She ignores them. Instead, she and Kia meet with legal advisor Marcy Dillard, a tough 50-something with sliding glasses. You're safe, Marcy says, scanning the envelope. Public record. Timestamps and signatures don't lie. Jasmine leans back. They'll say I faked this. Bet on it. Marcy shrugs. Let 'em. Truth stands bare. But the chase don't stop. In 48 hours, Trump's legal team starts an internal probe tracking every document request on Melania's finances from the past year. They pull metadata, lean on Florida court clerks. The heat ain't just political, it's personal. Then a name surfaces, not public yet, but in hushed GOP circles. Gideon Maris, an ex-campaign advisor who ghosted in spring after clashing with Trump. He stayed under the radar consulting and lecturing at a small Cleveland college. But he had deep access to sensitive campaign files. An ex-staffer recalls spotting him in Palm Beach a week before the prenup change. Another swears his name was CC'd on emails with Trump's legal team. No proof, just rumors. Still 2 nights later, a handwritten note, no return address, slides under Jasmine's office door. Gideon's clear, but you're close. Kia reads it twice, checks the hall for lurkers. You buying this, she asks. Jasmine grips the note like it's fire. Someone's spooked. And you only get spooked when the target's near. Across the aisle, GOP leadership's in disarray. A leaked Zoom call with senior campaign staff and donors hits the Washington informant. A donor cuts in. If she's got more, what else can she unleash? And when that's the terror. If Jasmine scored this, what's next? By Friday, a conservative strategist on national radio warns of a drip campaign, not a single strike, but a slow bleed stripping Trump's image piece by piece. Trump's camp retaliates with legal moves, letters to media execs, crying defamation demands for live broadcast fact checks. A top official threatens lawsuits against anyone platforming Jasmine, but their frenzy just draws more eyes. In Dallas, a bookstore slaps Jasmine's name on their Women Who Spoke Truth display. In Phoenix, a muralist paints her on a wall for legends. Even in swing states like Ohio and Pennsylvania, her name creeps into focus group polls. And still Melania's mute. The silence weighs heavier each hour. Insiders suspect Jasmine ain't solo. There's a source, maybe multiple, with a grudge or agenda. Why now? Jasmine's sole public remark that week is on a Baltimore podcast. Asked who supplied the docs, she smirks. Truth finds those who wield it. But her opponents, they're just starting digging deep. By week's end, even Trump diehards see it. Melania's silence ain't clever, it's damning. Usually post-scandal, she'd do a charity gig or photo with Trump. Now zero. News outlets tally the days like a countdown. A Fox anchor downplays it. She's always been private. Ain't new. But it is. This ain't about distance, it's about her possibly prepping to bolt. TMZ screams, is Melania already out? Not baseless. An ex-stylist posts vague online hints about last seeing her in D.C. A Mar-a-Lago insider tells a Miami reporter she's been cagey ditching friends, evading campaign talk. A resurfaced clip from last year shows her stalling on campaigning again. We'll see, she said. Now it lands harder. The court docs Jasmine cited folks dissect them like scripture. Phrases like amended Provision D party may seek asset revaluation if scandal tanks income and if indicted marital partnership faces financial reclassification. This ain't normal prenup lingo, it's calculated prep. On Capitol Hill, some GOP staffers quietly confess concern. One from Iowa mutters, if Melania foresaw trouble and planned an exit months ago, that ain't politics, that's betrayal. Voters feel it. Jasmine's office gets swamped with mail, hundreds of letters, mostly from women nurses, military spouses. One reads, takes guts to voice the unspoken. Keep going. Kia tears up reading one. Jasmine pauses. They think this is for clout, she says. But some been waiting lifetimes for someone to call out the obvious. Trump's team counters hard leaking to friendly outlets that Melania's family-focused or strategizing for the campaign. They schedule a Philly children's event for her, but it's scrapped. Sources say she refused. It's obvious to her inner circle she won't be a pawn in their cleanup. At a private Vegas dinner with top donors, Trump snaps. They don't get what we've endured, he growls, dodging her absence. They want to make her a victim. She's fine, loyal. But it's rushed, forced. A donor later tells the Nevada Review it felt like Trump was convincing himself, not them. Meanwhile, Jasmine does a brief radio hit with a small Birmingham station. The host, soft-voiced, asks, why bring up the First Lady there? Jasmine hesitates. If the top office runs on lies and hush, someone's got to question what that hush hides. And that hush, it's splintering. The longer it lingers, the louder it roars. By Monday, headlines pivot. It ain't just Melania's absence, it's Jasmine. She's morphed from disruptor to target. Conservative shows shred her headlines, blast congressional overstep and personal jabs. Republicans demand censure. She went too far, snaps Congressman Lowell Brent outside the Capitol. Jasmine watches the clip arms crossed, stone-faced. They keep crying, I overstepped, she tells Kia. But why's that boundary even there? The backlash ain't random, it's orchestrated. Anonymous tips tie her to foreign donors. A shady outlet claims forged docs. Hosts question her motives, funding family. Then threats roll in. Her team gets dozens of hate messages in a day. One email warns you're done if you step outside the Capitol. Another brands her traitor puppet. Capitol Police ramp up security at her office and home. Still, Jasmine don't buckle, not visibly. Pressure piles on. Reporters camp outside her place, neighbors gripe, news trucks clog the street. Her name's everywhere, inbox flooded. That night, she's alone in her living room, phone off, TV, muted lights dim. First quiet in days. Kia shows up with takeout, worried. Jazz, you don't gotta keep pushing. We can dial back one statement, ease up. Jasmine shakes her head. I don't get to ease up. That's their play, push till we fold. Kia softens. I ain't on politics. I mean safety. Quiet. Then Jasmine leans in, elbows on knees. They want me scared. I ain't. I'm pissed. Next day, she's on live TV. Not big Sunday gigs, she skips them. She picks a Wednesday slot on Morning Ground, a mid-tier show with a working-class base. Host Brian Schell cuts straight. Congresswoman, you're in a storm. Was the Melania statement personal or political? Jasmine, don't flinch. It was fact. Facts ain't rude just 'cause they sting. Schell nods. Regret airing it publicly. Nope, she fires. I regret the truth fell on me 'cause others were too chicken shit to speak. That line's clipped viral in minutes. Hits deep with young voters, women in swing states. No script, just raw, fed-up truth. She's still here. Support surges nationwide. Small-town mayors post props. College kids spam her comments. Even some moderate Republicans privately admit she shifted the game. A voter in Erie, PA tells a local station she said what we all dodge. You don't redo a prenup unless trouble's coming. Trump's team scrambles with a lame statement. Melania Trump stands by her husband and his mission for America. No video, no citing, just 12 weak words. Inside GOP strategy rooms, tempers flare. Fundraisers note donor burnout. Suburban women key for Trump's re-election poll lower than ever. Jasmine's spark became a wildfire. She didn't start a fight, she refused to stay mute while others faked the emperor's wardrobe. But momentum in politics is a beast. Once rolling, no one steers its end. As Jasmine's interview explodes, media shifts gears. Ain't just a congresswoman outing a presidential marriage, it's the cracks in that marriage. Years of staged smiles, contradictions, unease right under our noses. Networks go hard. Cable producers chase any ex-aide stylist bodyguard linked to the Trumps for dirt. They get plenty. A West Palm Beach event planner who did Mar-a-Lago gigs says Melania avoided eye contact unless forced. Distant, not icy, just over it. A former White House social secretary fuels it. Every appearance was a deal. Her team dictated lighting angles, seats, total control. Even campaign insiders break. An Arizona GOP consultant admits on a podcast, this ain't prenup drama. It's the facade crumbling. Voters see it. Then the deep cuts hit. The Atlantic drops a 2-page piece on Melania's role in Trump's political arc since 2015, mapping calculated distance and legal moves. Anonymous legal and real estate sources hint at hidden trusts, silent property shifts in her name. One line reads, while we saw stiff handholds, attorneys hustled to shield assets. Public eats it up. Meanwhile, Jasmine's office stays shut. No second bombshell, just quiet, and that quiet roars louder than words. In Philly, retired lawyers host a prenup clause teach-in. In Sacramento, a women's shelter fundraises off Jasmine's clip, dubbing her a voice for those caged by powerful men. The story's grown. It ain't just Trump, it's the whole damn system. In D.C., Trump's camp knows they've lost grip. He ramps up press time, ranting defensive-less policy, more protecting his image as master of his home and marriage. Melania and I are solid, he growls by Marine One. These Democrats are desperate. Can't win on economy, so they target my wife. Pathetic. But his clenched jaw and darting eyes don't sell it to anyone not already bought. Loyalists like Representative Blaine Lork from Missouri back him griping on radio. You don't drag family into Congress. Dirty politics, end of story. But Jasmine didn't attack Melania. She exposed a pattern, not a person. The public gets it. A Cincinnati Star op-ed hits the mark. Crockett didn't smear Melania. She asked why we ignore the filth surrounding her. In D.C.'s quiet corners, GOP aides murmur about 2028, not Trump's run, but Jasmine's rise. Statewide national A cable host muses live, this woman ain't fading. Love or hate her, she's carved a moment. Moments build legacies. Still, Jasmine stays low calculated. She lets media rant while she grinds on committee work, hits D.C. community events, skips gloating. This ain't a viral blip, it's a rupture. And ruptures don't mend fast. But pressure mounts from everywhere and someone's breaking soon. In a slick brownstone off DuPont Circle, 5 GOP strategists crowd around a speakerphone Saturday morning. Coffee notepads, exhausted looks. The vibe ain't bold, it's shaken. A Cincinnati donor cuts through straight up. We're losing ground in every district where women over 40 vote. No pushback. Polls prove it in Sarasota Mesa. Columbus suburbs, women once GOP-leaning share Jasmine's clips in chats, nodding to her logic. One Jan tells an Ohio paper she didn't call Melania weak. She said Melania planned ahead. I've done that. It's survival. That quiet shift slices deep, subtle, not loud but brutal. At the brownstone, a strategist rubs his head. 5 messaging drafts, none stick. Folks don't want policy. They want optics. That's the horror. The GOP sold a campaign on control, family strength, but Jasmine tore through that facade like tissue without shouting, without deceit, without fear. Meanwhile, Trump's top advisors lose patience. Late Sunday, in a private Trump national suite in Bedminster, a war room forms campaign manager, legal team comms, head and Trump. No press, no records. The pitch addressed the prenup now. Trump ain't biting. You want to hand her a win, he snarls, slamming the armrest. She's a nobody congresswoman. We boost her. She triumphs. Say nothing, we own the story. But they don't. Jasmine's words spread too far too fast. Owning the story's a pipe dream. The harder Trump fights, the guiltier he looks. That day, Fox News drops a battleground state flash poll. Key question: do you think Melania Trump fully backs her husband's campaign? Yes, 31%. No, 49%. Undecided, 20%. Those stats rattle fundraising crews. Big donors call not bailing yet, but probing the strategy. A Tulsa Energy exec asks, if one soundbite from a rookie congresswoman tanks us, what if she keeps at it? GOP brass tightens. Ranks feeding local affiliates lines, baseless accusations, privacy breach, leftist hit job. But it flops. The public ain't buying because they don't think Jasmine overreached. They think she dared where others flinched. Inside Trump's Arlington campaign HQ, it gets nastier. Leak spill. A staffer tells a press ledger reporter morale's tanked, especially with younger crew. Nobody likes defending the indefensible. Melania's silence ain't classy, it's sketchy. Then the killer blow lands. A Palm Beach local journalist, usually on galas, reports Melania met a real estate lawyer 3 weeks pre-hearing. 2 hours discreet Worth Avenue office, no security, no PR. It proves nothing, but it don't need to. Cable news hypes it, pundits speculate, and Jasmine says zip. She don't have to. In her office, she skims headlines, eyes keen. Kia leans over. They're crumbling. Jasmine sips tea. Not quite, but damn close. And cornered folks do reckless things. On a crisp Thursday morning, the Florida Herald drops a bombshell. Leaked email hints Melania's legal team prepped for split before campaign launch. It's real, an authenticated email between a top Melania lawyer and a Coral Gables estate firm, dated 3.5 months before Trump's Milwaukee announcement. Mentions urgent asset restructuring, hidden property holdings, and securing financial freedom amid reputational threats. That term, reputational threats, floods every screen by noon. No more guesswork. This is hard evidence, time-stamped, lawyer to lawyer. It echoes Jasmine's initial strike. In her office, Jasmine reads it twice silent. Kia storms in with a printout. It's legit. It's finally legit. Jasmine don't grin or leap. She murmurs, now they gotta answer. And they do, but not as expected. Hours post-report, the White House press secretary hits the podium for a briefing. Rooms jammed, all expecting Melania's voice. Instead, deflection. I won't discuss private legal affairs, she says, tweaking the mic. The First Lady focuses on her work and family. Period. No rebuttal, no fix, just a cool sidestep of the year's hottest story. Press ain't buying. Questions hammer, is the marriage solid? Was the prenup tied to legal risks? Why's she invisible 10 days running briefing cuts short? At Trump's campaign, HQ aides are in chaos. Silence won't cut it, but the flip side's worse. If Melania talks now, every syllable's dissected. So Trump does his cornered move, lashes out. That night at a Fort Wayne, Indiana rally, he veers off script. You've got weak Democrats like Jasmine Crockett smearing my family because they got no record to stand on, he rants. They can't win on policy, so they attack my wife, a brilliant woman smarter than them all. But the crowd's cheer is tepid, cautious. One attendee tells a local station still voting for him, but Melania's deal feels off. The story's morphing. What began as a daring claim in a charged hearing's now beyond politics, it's credible. The public, once doubtful, feels privy to a forbidden truth, and they won't unsee it. Jasmine picks that night for a brief, handwritten note, 12 words. When power hides in silence, truth screams over the noise. No interviews, no media blitz, just a stark post on her socials in her campaign style. It sparks like Tinder. In an hour, 200,000 shares. Editorials in Texas, Pennsylvania, even Florida paint her as a mirror, showing what the nation wouldn't admit. But pressure brews where she can't steer. Some Democrats fear this distracts from lawmaking. A senator privately tells a reporter, she stirred the hive. We might all get burned. But Jasmine don't waver. She ain't fake data or slung mud. She showed docs posed questions, let truth hit. What you don't know is a Trump insider's about to flip the board. It's a Sunday evening when it breaks. After near 2 weeks of quiet, Melania Trump surfaces solo at an Orlando Children's Hospital. She glides past cameras, smile rigid, gripping a plain white folder in a dark blue dress, simple pearls, no security visible. Reporters kept back no questions, but the real shock's after. An hour later, a 2-paragraph post hits her White House page as First Lady. I stay dedicated to my work, my son, my privacy. I won't feed public gossip on personal affairs. Those exploiting my family for politics reveal their true colors. I won't. Polished, firm, unapologetic, but no denial. The public clocks it. Commentators debate, some say classy, others say she's detaching. Body language pros pick apart her Orlando stance. Lip readers guess at off-camera whispers. But it's clear Melania ain't shielding Trump. Trump at Bedminster's golf club reportedly erupts over the statement. She's fueling this damn mess, he bellows per a staffer to the Dispatch. She thinks silence looks noble. It makes me look pathetic. That word pathetic haunts him. In 48 hours, 2 key GOP donors pause contributions. A third shifts funds to lower races, citing the presidential run's instability. Polls show Trump slipping below 40% in Michigan and Wisconsin's suburban counties among independent women. Jasmine's favorability soars, and she's barely spoken since the hearing. In a calm house cafeteria corner, she sits with Kia scrolling between lentil soup bites. Kia flashes a Kansas City mural pic Jasmine's face with "Tell the Truth." Anyway bolded. Jasmine don't grin, just exhales. All this noise, but know what counts. Folks finally feel heard. Nationwide, people who skipped hearings now debate prenups, legal freedom, silent strength. Jasmine cracked a door, and millions walked in. She's swamped with invites, law schools, women's summits, civil rights talks. Her inbox overflows with notes from folks who distrusted politicians, but trust her. On The View, a host declares love or loathe her politics. Jasmine Crockett didn't poke the bear, she proved its glass. Applause booms. It ain't just the reveal, it's the nerve. Even wary Democrats pivot. House peers who stayed distant now offer quiet nods. One texts, that wasn't politics, that was courage. But opposition looms. A flimsy political ethics complaint files unlikely to stick, but a signal. The system ain't done punishing. One night, exiting the Capitol under a faint pink sky, she turns to Kia. They'll hit harder now. Every word, every move, every file I touch. Kia don't pause. You set for that? Jasmine stares forward. Been set. What I ain't set for is a world pretending this silence is okay. 'Cause that's the core, not prenups or power pairs, but what we tolerate, what we guard, who we trust, even with truth glaring at us. Jasmine Crockett never shouted, never insulted. She struck a match and the nation watched the blaze. But the fire ain't out yet. Days after Melania's statement, whispers turn into roars as a new leak surfaces, this time from a disgruntled former Trump attorney who claims there's a second set of documents, one's even more damning, detailing asset splits dating back 2 years. The attorney, speaking anonymously to a small online outlet, hints that Melania's legal team had been building an exit strategy long before the prenup amendment Jasmine exposed. This wasn't a reaction to a scandal, the source says. This was anticipation of collapse. The story, though unverified, spreads like wildfire, reigniting debates on every network. Was Melania planning to walk away all along? And if so, what does she know that the public don't? Trump's response is predictable fury. He takes to a late-night rally in Ohio, voice booming over a restless crowd. "These lies, these disgusting fabrications about my family, they're gonna stop," he thunders. "My wife is with me, always has been, and these fake news hacks and low-life leakers won't change that." But the crowd's energy is uneven, some cheering, others exchanging uneasy glances. A local reporter catches up with a middle-aged couple exiting the rally. "I want to believe him," the woman says, clutching her purse. "But why won't Melania just say it herself? That's what's eating at me." Her husband nods, adding, "Something don't add up. Feels like we're only getting half the story." Back in D.C., Jasmine's team fields a flood of new interview requests as the attorney's leak dominates headlines. Kia sorts through emails, shaking her head. They're saying this new stuff could blow the lid off everything. You want to weigh in? Jasmine, flipping through constituent letters at her desk, doesn't look up. Not unless it's concrete. "I don't play with rumors. Facts only." Her restraint, though, only amplifies her impact. By staying above the fray, she lets the chaos speak for itself, cementing her as a steady hand in a storm of speculation. Social media buzzes with hashtags like #JasmineTruth and #MelaniaExit, while online forums dig into every detail of the alleged second set of docs. Law professors post threads breaking down asset division laws, and late-night comedians crack jokes that sting more than entertain. Melania's prenup got more clauses than a Santa contract, one quips to a roaring audience. Meanwhile, the GOP's internal fractures deepen. At a closed-door meeting in Virginia party, strategists clash over how to pivot. A senior advisor voice, hoarse from hours of debate, snaps, "We can't keep pretending this is just noise. Every day Melania stays quiet, we lose another chunk of our base, especially women. They're not buying the happy family line no more." A younger strategist counters, "But if we push her to speak and she says the wrong thing, we're toast. We gotta attack Crockett harder, make her the villain." The room splits, half nodding, half grimacing. They settle on a dual approach, more aggressive smear campaigns against Jasmine, while quietly pressuring Melania's team for a stronger public show of unity. But leaks from the meeting hit the press by morning, exposing their desperation. A headline in The Hill reads, "GOP torn smear Crockett or stage Melania." The pressure on Jasmine ramps up too, but in ways that test her resolve beyond politics. Late one evening, as she's leaving a community event in Southeast D.C., a small crowd gathers, mostly supporters chanting her name, but a few hecklers shout slurs and threats from the sidelines. Capitol Police, ever present since the hate mail spiked, form a tight circle around her. One officer mutters, "We've got eyes on him, ma'am, but you might want to cut these public stops for a bit." Jasmine, jaw set, shakes her head. "I ain't hiding. These folks came to see me, not to see me run." Kia, walking beside her, grips her arm. "Jazz, I get it. But one wrong move out here." Jasmine cuts her off, voice low but fierce. "If I stop showing up, they win. I'm not giving them that." The incident makes local news, with footage of her pushing through the crowd head high, sparking both admiration and concern online. "She's fearless, but damn, I'm scared for her," one Twitter user posts, racking up thousands of likes. Inside Trump's orbit, the cracks widen further. A second insider, this time, a longtime Mar-a-Lago employee, speaks off-record to a Florida paper claiming Melania's private conversations in recent months hinted at needing space and securing her own path. The employee, who'd overheard snippets during events, adds, "She didn't sound like a woman planning a campaign trail. She sounded like someone planning a life after." Though light on specifics, the quote fuels a new wave of speculation. Cable news panels debate if Melania's silence is a power play or a sign of defeat. A progressive commentator argues she's not just staying quiet, she's letting Trump twist in the wind. That's either genius or goodbye. A conservative pundit fires back, "This is all overblown. She's private, always has been. Stop reading into it." But the public's already made up its mind. Polls now show 55% of independents believe Melania's preparing for separation, up from 49% just days prior. Jasmine, catching wind of the latest leaks during a late-night strategy session with her team, remains unmoved by the noise. Marcy, her legal advisor, lays out the latest data on her desk. These news stories, they're unverified, but they're keeping your original drop alive. Trump's camp might try to pin this on you, say you're orchestrating leaks. Jasmine nods, slowly sipping coffee that's gone cold. They can try. I didn't leak a thing. I just held up a mirror. If they don't like the reflection that's on them. Kia chimes in half joking, yeah, but mirrors get smashed sometimes. We gotta be ready for the next swing. Jasmine's eyes narrow, a flicker of exhaustion showing for the first time. I've been ready, but I ain't blind. They're not just coming for my words now, they're coming for me. The next morning, a conservative think tank releases a scathing report accusing Jasmine of weaponizing personal information for political gain and calling for a full House investigation into her sources. The report, though thinly sourced, gets picked up by right-wing outlets and amplified by GOP lawmakers on social media. One tweet from a prominent senator reads, "Jasmine Crockett's reckless actions undermine Congress. We demand answers on how she obtained private documents. #Stop the witch hunt." Within hours, her office is inundated with calls, some from supporters decrying the report as a smear, others echoing the senator's demands. Kia filters through voicemails muttering, "They're trying to bury you in noise, Jazz. Make it look like you're the problem, not the prenup." Jasmine, drafting a response to a constituent, doesn't look fazed. Noise don't bury truth. It just makes it louder. Let 'em talk. By midweek, the cultural ripple effects of Jasmine's revelation hit new heights. A viral TikTok challenge emerges dubbed #Truth.